Good morning. It's Wednesday. Just a little bit. So we're gonna cute a little guy.
We're
gonna stitch a cute little guy.
Yeah.
It's evidently a good word day.
I mean, yes, there's somewhere.
We'll see what I can make up today. How about that?
Sounds fantastic. Oh, and here comes
Good
Miss
morning, Kim.
So today's Kimberbell project is super duper cute.
It really is. I'm excited to see it.
These jar toppers are really, really cute.
They have come out with so many now.
Yeah.
There's a lot and there's more coming and all kinds of little things.
Yeah.
I did take a peek at the email that you had said that came out for Demo December.
Yeah.
So that's also going to be the style, of course, not the same design.
Right.
So there's going to be new fun things coming.
Yeah. We should be able to start revealing that stuff on like the 25th, October 25th.
It won't be long.
Next year's digital dealer.
Yeah.
All right.
There'll be all kinds of fun things as always.
Yeah.
So
good morning.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is a two hooping project. So first we make the 3D parts with water soluble stabilizer, and then we put in the no-show mesh and build the base, and then add in those 3D parts as we're building. So nothing super complicated, just a couple steps, but again, pretty straightforward. So
okay, so shall we start?
We shall.
All
so I have the items over here. I've got our hoop with water soluble. It only called for one. I had two already prepped, so I'm just throwing two in there.
Yeah.
It's always better with two. All right. With all those satin stitches and things on the wings, I thought, well, maybe it'd be better to have that little extra something there.
Yep.
So, all right, we are going to start with, let's see what we're going to start with.
Yep, I think it's the placement line for the felt. For the wings. So you will also need a bobbin wound with a decorative color.
Yep.
We chose purple for the bat wings because you'll see that along the edge is what I'm assuming.
Yep.
Right?
That is the edge, the bottom edge of the bat wings is purple. So that's what we chose to do for our matching bobbin. So the ears are going to be first. So we definitely will want the gray.
Okay.
So try to figure out which piece of.
We have picked Exquisite Color ES 1713. This one is kind of like an aluminum silver for our gray. I guess our lighter gray. We have like an almost black.
Yeah, I didn't have black, so we're gonna just go.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and stitch out the placement line. And these are the ear placement lines.
So if you get our kit, there is a large piece of gray felt. We're going to cut that down into the cut sizes that we need for this. And the 2x2 piece is what we need for the ears themselves. Okay.
So I'm going to place the piece of felt right over top, making sure that everything is covered, and then we'll start again.
Look at that.
And do we trim before we stitch?
We are going to trim. And if you would like to, you can put that pink in while I am doing that.
I will absolutely do that. That one didn't want to come out.
I picked the good one, huh?
You picked the good one, yeah.
All right, so we are just going to get rid of the excess here.
And I'm going to put in color number ES304. This is the inside part of the ear, so the little pink color.
Nice spray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back at the machine, we're just going to do that inner ear. So rock and roll.
Someone out there is probably wondering why we don't have a washable topper on top of that, but it really isn't necessary for this. There's
It's a pretty
plenty
good
of
fill.
stitches, and even though the felt has a little bit of texture, it's not super thick.
No.
If we were doing just an outline stitch, it might be helpful, but
This is actually a really good fill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no gaps in there or anything, so. Like we are going to place the lower wing fabric, tack and trim that. And then we're going to put the felt on the back.
on the front and the back.
Nope, just the back after that. That's what I was trying to read it. I was like, this is different. So let's.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're
All
going
right.
to do the placement line for our. Should we do the purple?
Might as well.
We have purple number ES398. It's a deep purple. And we're going to do the placement line for the fabric part of the wings,
Which they call lower. So.
And it does recommend that you put that fusible interfacing on the back of it. So we put the Easy Key on because that is our favorite backing. So
yep. Here's the placement line.
It's just a weird spot. This It's okay. You can be late to the party. You didn't miss much. You missed some ears. And then we're going to place our fabric right over top of that. Again, if you would like to tape, you could certainly do that.
So our favorite thing to do.
Right. Not a shocker that we're not. Okay, we got lots of people on joining us this morning. Good morning, good morning. We're still jumping in. If you just joined us, we have done the ears, and that was just again a placement line. You put the felt on then it did the tack down. We trimmed, and then we just filled the inside part of the ears. And now,
pretty pink thread there.
yes, and now we're doing the lower part of the wings, which is the fabric portion. And we're going to trim.
Yep, gonna trim that off, and then we're going to put the larger piece of felt on the back of the hoop.
Okay. And does that go on before or after we do the placement line?
It goes on as soon as I'm done trimming.
Okay.
So if there's no place, we're just going to
That's
cover
just
all
the
of
tack
this
down.
up, and then
Okay.
it's just going to tack it in place. So as soon as I'm done with this, I will put that on.
And are we keeping our white bobbin thread in at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
My turn.
It's okay. Just all of a sudden, like, oh, don't drip. And again, this does have the fusible backing on it, so it's got a nice, good body to it. We'll give the 3D wings a little bit of life there.
Yeah. It can make trimming though just a little bit
Different.
Yeah, a little bit because it's a little bit thicker.
All right. With that trimmed, we're going to flip to the back and take our larger piece and completely cover that up. I'm just going to trim a couple of these because they're going to definitely stick out. Anytime I'm working with 3D stuff, you have a big mess on the back of your hoop. Those will kind of poke out. As clean as possible. Alrighty. And you're going to want to change to gray for this top on the top side.
All right.
Corners.
We're going to go back to the ES 1713, which was that first gray color that we used.
And we've got that covered. Hello, welcome back.
Okay.
You can kind of see the shadow of that felt back there. We're just going to do a tack down around there. This is the back fabric. Goodness gracious. I'll have to do that again. These look pretty cute so far. My mom actually already stitched these.
Yeah.
And she sent me a picture. She had both sizes. They came out super cute. She's got a couple friends that really like Halloween things, so she made like the treats for my boo things and so again, if you have recently joined us, we are stitching on water soluble stabilizer. And these are the 3D pieces. So you need to do 2 different hoopings for this. These will be the wings and the ears that will come out from the top of the jar. All right, so we are now going to trim. And at the machine, we're going to need to change to our purple thread and our purple bobbin.
So we're going to go back to ES 398. And I'm also changing the bobbin while Lisa is trimming that.
And we are just going to trim close to that stitch line. All right, there we go.
It's hard to do insides, isn't it?
It's always like, what direction should I go? So there are little, I don't know if they can see, little lines here as well. Those are going to be like your alignment for where to put those in to the hoop, or the jar, or bamboo hoop, or whatever it is that you're putting this into.
It's kind of an interesting. So the top part of the felt is going to show through once we rinse the stabilizer out.
Right.
You don't have, like, you're not appliquing another piece of felt on top.
Understand what we're doing. We're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Because there is another piece of felt.
Really?
Yep.
On top?
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting.
Evidently the back part of the wing is a different color than the front part of the wing. Because that was my first thought too. I'm like, oh, it's just going to be a show through. Okay.
Yeah.
No, there's more going on. We're not done yet. Not to the center there. Okay, so we've got there 2 separate wings and 2 separate ears. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do these stitches there.
Okie dokie.
All right, let's rock and roll. So again, we've rethreaded with purple on the top and in the bobbin. Yeah, this goes on there yet. I didn't say it made sense. It just did. And then this is for the other. Okay. do the white. And then place it, go back to gray, and placement line, tack that down, and trim it, and then those are done.
Okay.
So 2 layers of everything, or 2 layers everywhere.
Yeah.
Just, very interesting. Very cute though. Good color choice. Nice.
Yeah, we didn't get too bad.
That looks good. Love that. Okay, we've got 3 in front of us. Which one?
Sometimes less choices is better, right?
Yes.
So last night, Dave and I we were watching some TV, and I'm like just scrolling through Facebook, and our little town there's always some funny little post that's going on, and so this one was what's going on at Mug and Bop. That's the gas station Dunkin' Donuts thing, and somebody's like there was like 3 fire trucks and all this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
And then underneath a little while ago, there's a bunch of comments under there. One of them was, they fire, and so, but they never found anything. And someone underneath was like, guess they should have checked on that burnt bagel.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. But I can totally understand why you would freak out if you really smelled something that you thought was fire, especially
at a gas station. You got to be careful for sure.
And I can totally understand how the over response to, showing up.
Small town, what else is there to do? Let's just send everybody.
Send them all.
Send them all.
So we were laughing.
Jeff loves for still there too. Awesome. It's a great machine. Brother and Baby Lock have done some really great things with their machine upgrades and updates. They always amaze me.
Yeah, I know. What's next?
With whatever is the I always think I'm creative, and then I see what other and then not even close to creative. All right, so we need to take out our purple bobbin and thread and put in white or whatever you would like your wing details to be. And this is what we had in, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So our bobbin thread is already white, our standard thread, so we're just going to use that. Otherwise, you would want to match that here as well because it would show. It's going to be a decorative stitch there, so. And this is color stop number 8, and it's again just going to do the little pretties on the wing itself. So yeah, when I was a kid, our detectors were going off. Yeah. A time ago, but they called the fire. Couldn't find it or anything.
Right.
Fire department came out, traipsed through the house. Nobody could find anything.
Right.
I slept through the whole thing. The alarm, the people traipsing through the house. I slept
everything
through the whole thing. I can't sleep through anything now.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, that's absolutely hilarious because
that's a kid with no worries on their shoulders, right?
Evidently, I was good. Yeah. I was good, yeah. And then this morning, my puppy, who was literally on the other side of the house, behind a closed door, in a crate, radio's playing in there to help it not be lonely, right? We've got a radio going. And I heard him whimpering that he needed to go out this morning. Figure that one out. Woke me up. I woke up because I heard that. Evidently. But I'm so proud. I was like, look at you, not going in your crate, telling me you need to go. Couldn't it have been later? But hey, better than a mess.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to switch to gray thread up top and place that, do the placement line, right? Yeah.
Yep. And this is back to ES 1713.
So this is not like the gray you have to use or anything. This is maybe a little darker. I'm sorry, excuse me, than I might have used if I was at home and had my tray of
The tray of grays.
my 50 shades of gray to choose from. It's nice. I don't mean to say it doesn't look good, but there's you could certainly do a lot of adjusting in your shading here. I think the only thing that you really want to match, quote unquote, is that purple or whatever you're using for that.
Right.
That's the one color that you really want to look at. And
this switch seems a little unnecessary.
It just mildly.
Yes. Because
I kind of know where to put this already.
Yeah.
I almost said let's just skip this, but yeah, well, whatever. And then it's not going to put it on the little tabs, which I also find interesting. Okay, so we are going to completely cover up that stitch. Over the back. Okay.
Looks like it.
All right. It's kind of nice having that camera there.
Yeah.
Don't have that at home.
Looks like it from here.
And then this will tack it down, and then we'll trim off that excess, and this will complete the 3D pieces.
How is the remodeling of my sewing room going? Well, it'll be a long process. It will not be quick, that is for sure. We almost have the basement completely empty. We did buy some really cool, like reclaimed wood style looking stuff for one of the walls. So that was
Where did you find that?
At the Floor in the Core place.
What a shop!
What a shop! Yeah.
Yes.
So that is where Lisa's son works. I didn't see him, but that is where I bought it.
I haven't seen him either. I'm really hoping he's going to join us for dinner tonight. I miss him.
All right.
He moved closer, like his. It's
Uh-huh.
not an apartment. They're a bunch of them are renting a house. It's closer to the house, but I swear I see him less now than I did before. It's okay. So I'm going to trim. But literally, if you're following along, you're going to trim this and then you're going to remove. So I'm going to just pop it out and pass you the hoop over for the next one. So if you want to bring up.
I'm going to do that right now. So Kim has a question. Any tips for cutting away the fabric? I always have fabric showing after embroidery.
Okay, good question, because you're not the only one. So the first thing is make sure that you have a good tool. So I am really not a fan of duckbills. I know that if you're reading like applique, they're touted as the applique trimming tool. Mm-hmm. I personally really don't like that. So they are always in my way and I can't get close to where I need to get, especially if there's a point or a small area. Right. That duckbill is actually hindering me from getting a good close trim than helping me.
Yeah.
So these are my favorites. You may have heard that before. These are the 6-inch double curve. They get right into points and things, into smaller areas very well. One of the things that you can do, if depending upon your fabric, is you can kind of pull it up so that you get an edge and you know exactly where to cut. So if you're just leaving it flat, then it's harder to get your scissor up closer. Mm-hmm. I like to, especially when they're stiffer things, definitely pull that up. There's also the direction of cut. So whether you're cutting this direction or whether you're cutting this way. So kind of play around and find which way works better for you. Mm-hmm. I can sometimes get a closer cut going one direction than the other.
Right.
And sometimes that depends on your design.
Yeah.
You can only go one way.
Right.
But that might make a difference as well. If you need glasses, get them.
Yeah. I was also going to say, this is going to be like a weird tip, but also the way that you hold your scissors.
So go for it.
Yeah. If you look at Lisa's hand also, when she's got her fingers in the holes, she's not using the thumb and her first finger, right? She's using her thumb and her middle finger in the holes. And then you kind of use your index finger to sort of control. It gives you a lot more control. I think that is one of those weird little things that you don't necessarily think about, but can be sometimes helpful. And Lisa has mentioned this a bazillion times, right? Slow consecutive cuts. Try not to be too choppy with it, right? Because the more times you snip into it, the more little edges you end up being. Right. So,
and you will definitely see that when you have a raw edge. Mm-hmm. Of course, if it's going to be covered up like our purple down here, that's where you're really seeing those fuzzies coming out. So take your time in making sure. Practice is honestly,
you get better.
You get better the more you do it. I mean, I have definitely improved over time. I found, that didn't work. Right. I don't like that. I found I really don't like duckbills. That made because everybody was really raving about these duckbills, and I felt like I was a failure because I couldn't make them work. I'm like, why can I not figure this out? I always had the duckbill on the wrong side.
Yeah,
it was always in my way. It didn't matter what I was doing, and I just was like, okay, maybe these just aren't the right scissors for me. And then I found these, and I'm like, it wasn't me. It was the scissors I was using. But yeah, so definitely having a little bit of a lift underneath the fabric so that you're not worrying about cutting underneath. That was what the duckbill is supposed to do, is prevent you from cutting what's going on underneath. So use your finger to kind of help you do that. The hard part is when you had, like we were talking about, those small areas in there where you just have to shove your scissors in there and kind of hope.
Yeah, she's using duckbills.
Don't.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it is worth a little bit of an investment, but $20 for, or $25 for a lot less. Yeah, annoyance is definitely worth that.
And there's a lot of companies out there that make these. These are Femore, which have been probably the best ones that I've had, but they're a curved scissor. They're going to go dull. So you're going to have to just replace them at some point. So, you want to switch back to?
Yeah, she's going to continue trimming. And does it matter what color I have in for this part?
Great question. Bobbing back to the regular color. We already did that. First thing, probably gray.
Gray it is. Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna go ahead and she's cutting pretty close. She asked, how close are you cutting?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. Depending on the medium that you have would depend upon how close to the edge you're gonna get. Like when we do leathers and things like that, we want to have a little bit of an edge, and you want to try to be consistent. This has a lot of stitching around the outside edges, so and it's gonna get fuzzy.
Yeah, felt is very forgiving, which is really nice. So you can go back and go, oh, that's got a little extra there. I'm gonna give it a little haircut.
Do you want to lift that up so she can see a little bit closer to how close? There you go.
Ready?
There you go. Yeah. All right.
So over at the machine, she's going to do the placement line for our background fabric. And you're just going to place that down, and it's going to do that background tack down, which is kind of a starry something.
Yep.
And that is not going to show in the final project.
Okay. So we're keeping the same color in, and I just placed the background fabric on there. The background fabric does have that EBT on it.
protection will be actually in the rim of the jar, so you won't see those actual.
Kathy said that she made some for her grandkids and filled them with treats. Yes, that's what we have. We'll show you our finished jars of treats in just a bit. All right, and so now we have
do another circle, which should be your lid placement.
Okay.
So like the inner lid, if you're using that. And then over here, when I'm removing these from the stabilizer, I'm going to trim about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to get rid of as much stabilizer as I can. A lot of times when I'm actually making these, I don't rinse until I'm all done. So totally up to you whether you want to do that. But I just get rid of as much as I can. And I just trim really close to the project itself. So there's very little bit of stabilizer to deal with.
Cindy says, do you use the Easy Tea like you would the SF-101? Well, so we wouldn't use SF-101, but yes, I totally get what you're asking. It is a fusible woven interfacing. We like Easy Tea because it is pre-shrunk. It has a better adhesive to the back, so it doesn't bubble and peel up. And pre-shrunk, that is really nice. So it will not shrink in if you wash it or rinse it. If you put Shape Flex on the back of that or the SF-101 and you did not pre-shrink it, you will probably notice a little bit of wrinkling or bubbling that will happen inside your pieces because, again, it's cotton fabric that has not been pre-shrunk. So that definitely happens. And back at the sewing machine here, we have
the placement line for our foam.
The placement line for our foam. So we're just going to keep that right same color in. And this will, it's hard to see on the screen here, but
it's a funky shape though. What up? Who is she? You know who she is?
Warden.
She was here. She picked it up.
She says she's unable to get the 4 cuts out of the material.
Just tell her we'll call her back, please. We're live. You want to grab the foam for me?
There you are. What?
Right, so I've got the foam on top of here. All right, and I'm assuming we probably need to trim this.
Yeah, you are assuming.
All right.
I'm just playing with water over here.
All right, here you go.
So, at home, if I were going to rinse, I would just go to my sink and fingertip edge these. I wouldn't douse the whole thing because I want to use them right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have water in. It's actually my fabric folding pen here. At home, I actually use my aqua pen. I know I was getting sticky off. You know, it does that. So, just running the water along so that stabilizer melts away and we can have basically the edges ready to go right away. So again, if I was at home, I would just go to my sink, get my finger wet and rub it along the edge. But to do that sitting here. There's just water in this pen. I do prefer the aqua pen, but I don't have one of those here. So back to this. Okay. We're going to all of these little funky cut shapes are going to be placements for our 3D pieces, is where those little notches are going to come into play. All right, once you have everything trimmed out, you're going to take your ear pieces and you're going to place them in those top notches. That's going to just have a little extra up there. It doesn't want to come off. Okay.
So do I need to draw the placement, or do you just put them, or do we need
they
to?
go in the notches.
Okay.
So once you trim, you have little notches that go in here, and you're going to literally tuck in, and they fit right inside those little grooves there. So there's the groove. It shows you literally where to place, where to put that.
Okay.
So there's no placement line that is stitched. It is just already there.
And so the next thing that we have is the tack down for those.
Put them, in position. So you definitely want to take those down because they will shift underneath your needle if you have not. So put them, kind of push them into that notch and then tape them into place. And then we're going to
And is gray still okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
She's just working on her placement here.
So there's the alignment line that they gave us from that first stitch out, that interior line. Remember I pointed them out on the back of the hoop? It's saying make sure that the marks from part 1 are aligned over the ear placement so that you'll get, those gray lines aren't going to be outside of the project.
Right.
So we're going to just take that back to the machine. And number 6 here is going to tack that in place. How do you do?
Pretty good. There's a little stitching on the tape.
That's okay. All right, so we're now going to go back to.
I got 2 more lines again.
Did I jump the gun?
Well, I don't know. I don't have the instructions.
Oh yeah, they do stitch a line in there.
Okay.
So skip that or stitch it again. Either way. You good?
Welcome back.
I've never used those. I just shove them in the nooks because they're so obvious where they go. wonder if those are on all the album, and I just skip them all the time.
All right, so now we've got placement for the sides. So should we stitch those?
Stitch the placement wing line. Yep.
Okay.
That's probably, let's stitch it this time instead of just shove them in there.
Wrong with a little shoving.
It's all done with a little loving.
Right?
Right? Yeah. Oh. So copper. So long.
I don't think so, but I think we'll get some.
I didn't. Yeah, we're gonna need to cover all of that up so our foot doesn't get stuck.
Okay,
my bad.
So I'll go to the trim screen and I'll grab some.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna remove these pieces of tape. So you can see my ears are tacked in well. We've got little lines here that are going to be for where the wings go. So we're just going to set those right into position there. And tape your wing in place. Once you have everything where you would like, you can kind of hold it back and look and make sure, you know, that you're fairly straight and even. You know, you don't want one of them angled or that kind of thing. So hold it up, make sure you're happy with the placement. And then you're going to go back to the machine. Excuse me. And number 9 is going to tack those down just like we did the ears. As soon as we put it away, that's when we need it, right?
I don't know.
Got you close to an iron, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, so I'm now going to take off the tape. And we need to cover up our 3D pieces with water-soluble topper. And the reason that we have some issues with our topper, but that's okay. I'm going to use way too big of a piece because I've got some funky stuff going on over here. All right, so the idea is that we don't have any rough spots for your foot to get caught on. So we're just going to cover those up. We're just going to be working in the center. So we need to make sure that we don't have any spot that our foot is going to get stuck on that area there. Number 10 is going to do a placement line there, and it's also going to tack kind of everything into place there. So we can go back to the machine and stitch with number 10.
We're still using gray.
Still using gray.
Good old reliable gray.
All right. Double duty there. It is giving you a tack down, but it is also giving you a placement line for your bat's face felt. So we're now going to cover that up and tack it down. Let's see. Okay, you mentioned we're doing the wide mouth. We're doing the big one. Yeah. So we're in a 5x7 hoop. If you were doing the small one, you could be in a 4x4 hoop.
This is like a stitch around the outside edge. Does that go
but yeah,
before or after you trim?
I need to trim
Trim
first,
first? Okay.
and then it'll do the decorative edge.
All right.
So we're going to, this is going to come, not quite yet, but soon. I don't want it to get lost over here as I'm spinning the hoop around. All right, so we do not want to remove that topper yet. So make sure that your scissors are working in between those layers. If you're wondering how the heck do you do that, I again pick up my fabric and then I kind of come in and push up against just to make sure that I don't have anything I'm not supposed to. And there we have our excess removed. Starting to take some shape there.
Fun, fun, fun.
We're going to go back to the machine and stitch that decorative around the outside of our felt.
Still with little reliable gray.
Yep.
This is definitely thick, so
You might hear a little bit of noise.
exactly.
From both ours or yours.
Yes.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't know why that and find out, but first came over here, it was like
It always happens to Dave when he gets like when we're in the car driving, like I don't know, we're like a couple miles in and all of a sudden his nose always starts to run. It's
so you're doing trying to keep it from that,
right.
like a little bunny over here, moving my nose around, trying to keep everything. So our next stitch is going to be the nose. The nose. Yep. So we're going to go back to that cute pink color that we have.
Okay. Do we need this yet?
Not yet.
They're going to be for the eyes.
Yep. Which I find interesting, but we'll see how that is. That's a new one. They've never done that before. So
No.
maybe that's the fix for where'd my eyes go?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the nose stitch, which is number 13 in color stops.
And this was our pink, which was ES 304. Same color we used for the inside of our ear.
Yes.
Yeah, little pumpkin cheeks now.
Starting to look like me. All right, we're going to do that next. Going to do some detail. It says nose, detail, and fangs.
All right, I see the fangs down there.
All right, so we're going to switch to white. Almost there, guys. And with that threaded, let's go. And then we're going to switch to black. Or in our case, super dark gray, because I couldn't find black. So here we are. That looked really, really hard though. It might even be in the drawer. It was what was laying out. So I was like, well, this is going to work. Up one. I thought maybe I looked in there. I don't know. So there's a little decorative stuff on the nose itself, and then there's the mouth with the fangs.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. Kind of cute. Right. And last but not least is the black. And again, we didn't have black here, so we're using really dark gray. Ours is number 117. It presents pretty black. It's really, really dark. I actually really like this color. And you'll want to use embroidery toppers. So you're going to just place that over the center of the whole piece there. You can tape it into place if you would like to. I'm sure you're super shocked.
Embroidery topper is like a color blocker.
Yep.
That goes on so that you don't see the undercolor underneath your stitches. It also helps to hold the stitches on top.
So it's kind of like that water soluble topper to keep that loft up there. It'll give it some loft as well. But you'll see a nice crisp color instead of maybe a little gray poking through. It gives you that nice solid. And it is available in multiple colors.
And it'll just perforate.
Yep. It's a tearaway. So.
But the stuff that's under the stitches will remain there.
All right.
Okay, we are all done stitching. And are we going to cut them out? Yeah. All right.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is pull off the embroidery topper. So you can see you have a nice solid black look there. No show through at all. Really nice bold. I think that's the only problems that I've ever had with these have been whatever the eyes.
Yeah, they kind of sink in, and
they sink in because
them.
of the layers, and then depending upon what you're using, you know, we've used some glitter and some other things in there, and sometimes it just doesn't work out so well. Actually, really like this, just a simple black dot. So we then need to remove your topper. And I am just tearing towards my stitches here so that it pops off nice and easy. All right, so you can see, can't have you. All right, so we've got 3D wings and 3D ears there. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that from the hoop. And our original stitch line out here, that outside circle, that is where we want to trim. And you want to go not on it, just outside of it. So
don't clip your ears.
Don't clip any of your
or
3D
your
parts, but you want to go just to the outside of, I don't know, can you see that?
A little bit.
It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
I can see it really well, but the lighting is not quite right. I apologize. And we're just going to go all the way around and remove the excess stabilizer and the excess background fabric. All right. So, how do you actually put this in a jar? That's the fun part, right? So when you have 3D parts, it can be very complicated to get it to all fit
in the hole,
in there, and then turn and all of that. So this is my wide mouth jar. I have no idea where the interior lid is. It is not mandatory that it's there. It can make it a little bit easier because it kind of holds it in place. Not the end of the world, but depending on what you've got going. So these little adorable types here are from Treats for My Boo. And they are the standard jar size. So they're just the regular size. And we've got fun little, actually peanut M&Ms. And when you put those in, you can see that the jar lid is in there. And so that kind of helps everything stay in place. The easiest thing to do, the cat was super easy. You just plopped the ears through and then kept going, right? But when you have multiple things like the legs or whatnot, the easiest thing to do when you're trying to work with a 3D is just tape your pieces to the middle and then remove the tape once it's in position, and then they'll pop out where they're supposed to go.
Makes sense.
And then you don't have to fight with everything trying to get there. These ears, I think, are going to be okay. They usually maneuver their way. So I'm going to leave them alone. If they are really bothersome, then I'll deal with it. But for right now, I'm going to leave that there. So what I want to do is just place that upside down and push my 3D pieces, I didn't see it very well, into, and again, I need to pull those ears out. The second circle that we stitched is the jar lid placement line. Oops. This is where the lid is a little bit helpful because you have something solid to hang on to. So we're going to push that up into, and then the wings will pop open. Now you can glue that into position. You can leave it alone, whatever it is that whatever you want to do. Again, with the lid in there, they kind of stay a little bit better. But I have done this many times with and without, so it's not a huge issue one way or the other.
So cute.
When you go, you can put all kinds of things into your jars. You can do like colored gems that you would put in a vase or something like that with some fairy lights. If you don't want food and you want to just have it like a year-round decoration that you don't have to worry about the food lasting. Like I said, these are just the ghoul mix of peanut M&Ms. So you've got the fun Halloween colors there. And then you're just going to put that guy on there and spin. So get it lined up and spin your top into position. And there you are.
How cute.
So jar toppers, not complicated.
No.
So fun, so stinking cute. We do have some other types. So an older digital dealer from January of 22, I think.
Yep.
And that is still a file we can get you if you are looking for doing some Easter stuff. If you're looking forward and want to do some Christmas, we do have the new CD that is available. That also has gift tags in there. So it's a really bad glare. There we go. So you can see a couple of the things in there. There's a gift tags, a couple different types. A little different picture. There's gift tags, and then a bunch of different things. You can use them as ornaments. So like the hoops, you could make ornaments of those. You could use them as jar toppers, literally however you would like, but those are going to be the 3D types as well. So you've got ears, hats, those kinds of things. The gingerbread have a little arm that kind of sticks out, those kinds of things. So that is the new, almost new. It's been just a short period of time there. And that is available, and we do have those in stock. If you have not yet purchased your bat kit or design, you can find the kit and the design link to purchase in the email that you found this morning to get here.
Yep.
or you can go to our website if you don't have that, and you can find that. We do have the kits available.
So we have a couple questions. Kim is asking, are we going to be at the expo in November? Yes, we will. We don't have our booth number yet, but we will absolutely be there. I'm assuming this is in reference to today's design, and there is a Halloween topper kit. You do have to buy the design if you didn't already get it. The design and the kit are sold separately, and
you get both sizes when you buy the design. You get the wide mouth or the standard size, and then the wide mouth is what fits the hoops,
right?
If you are interested in doing them as ornaments or that kind of thing.
Yes.
If you wanted this, you do get both sizes for each of those as well. Mm-hmm. And then again, on here, you also get the tags. So that's an inclusive there. The kit for this one is super inexpensive because there's not a whole lot going on. Yeah. So, but we do have kits available for this little guy here.
And the other question is, how do I get the spider, bunny, and cat? So the bunny you can get on our website, or if you can't find it on our website, you can certainly give us an email. That will be available. That is a previous year, so last year's digital dealer. So we can get that for you. It's $10.
Yep. And we do still have the kits available for these too. Yep. So right there in the same spot, you can find the January actual fabric and embellishment kit for that. So those are available and in stock. I think we have 6 or something like that of these ready to go.
Yes. And the spider and the cat are only available from
an event.
Yeah, that was, what was that spooky?
It was called Treats for My Boo, which we ran a few weeks ago. I don't have any intention of running it again. I mean, I suppose we could maybe run a virtual one or something and hook that up somehow, but we've got our plate kind of full right now. Yeah. So probably not going to be running this again anytime soon to get these particular ones. If you would like those, I just wanted to show, there's different types of how to put them in, and, the ears are super easy, but when you have multiple things, especially even when they're small like this, you're definitely going to want to tape all of those in.
Yeah.
Warning, it looks like a dead spider when you have all of the legs taped. You know how when they curl up, it kind of looks dead when you're doing that. So, the whole Halloween one day thing is a really great piece. So I don't have any kits available. We have to send them back as soon as our event is over. So we don't have any for those. I just was trying to show different ways of,
and the different sizes.
So
all right, that's all we have today.
So that's what we have. We will be back this afternoon, and we're going to talk about the app Artspira and all the fun things that you can do with that. Yeah. So thank you for joining us this morning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And what's the other one?
Like, subscribe.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else, but that's okay. Do all of those fun things, and that does help us out for sure. And thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.